So if you watch this channel at all, you've seen the Woodwork for Humans series, where we do super basic hand tool woodworking with the most rudimentary tools. One of those tools is this, the Stanley 12 404 hand plane. And this thing is cheap, in both senses of the word. It's inexpensive, and it's honestly not very good. I've got a whole video about how you can super tune this thing and get it taking some pretty decent shavings despite its shortcomings. But honestly, I'm still not very happy with it. No matter how much work I put into this plane, it's always going to be a mediocre tool for two reasons. First, the adjusters that came on this plane were so bad I took them off and threw them away. When I need to adjust this plane, I just tap on the iron with a hammer. This works totally fine, but it's not as quick or efficient as having good mechanical adjusters. The second problem with this plane is that it only has a single iron cutter. That means it just has one blade. Now, a better plane has this thing called a chip breaker, which is bolted to the blade. The chip breaker combined with the iron gives you a much smoother cut with way less tear out and makes the tool much more effective. Now, if you're already confused by everything that I'm saying, I have an entire video that covers all the differences between a cheap plane and a good plane. Pause this video, go watch that one, and come back, and everything I'm saying will make way more sense. What I really want to do is upgrade from this plane to something a lot more like this plane. But I know that my viewers really appreciate value in their tools. So whatever we buy, it's still got to be a bargain. And while I've been hunting around for bargain tools, I came across this. This is the Great Neck 10-inch smoothing plane. And at first glance, this looks like it might be the answer to my prayers. It has all the basic components you find in a high-quality vintage Stanley plane, like a depth adjuster, a lateral adjuster, and a double iron, and the overall construction feels solid. And, best of all, this thing is only $37 with free shipping. So, is this going to satisfy our need for a complete and modern woodworking plane at a bargain price? Only one way to find out. Holding this plane for the first time, my impression is, it's not bad. It's a lot heavier and thicker than a good vintage plane. And the handles look like plastic, but they're actually some sort of brown painted hardwood. And they're a little bit heavy and clunky feeling, but you could always shape these later, and they're not super uncomfortable, so I think they're fine the way they are. Taking the plane apart, the iron is pretty decent looking. It's got a better finish and fewer grinding marks than some affordable tools that I've seen. The bevel is nice and even, and it's well ground. The chip breaker is chromed, which is unnecessary, and it's got a lot more curvature than it needs, but that's also not a big deal. The whole double iron assembly is held together by a good stout screw, but either the screw slot is too narrow or the lever cap is too thick, because you should be able to take the lever cap and unscrew the double iron assembly. This is a trick that I can do with all of my high quality planes, and it's a little bit annoying that for this plane, you'll have to pull out a screwdriver. But again, not a deal breaker. What we need to do is open the plane up and look at how the mechanical parts work. So when I have this plane apart, the first thing I want to look at is the frog, which is where the iron sits. Now the surface of this frog is pretty decent. There's some obvious milling marks on it, but it's flat, and I could smooth it out a lot with sandpaper on a piece of glass. That's an easy fix. The frog is held down really securely to the plane body by two large, good-looking screws, and I can tell just visually that the frog is quite square to the base of the plane. So there are no problems here. Now when I first got the plane, the lateral adjuster was too thick here where it engages the blade, and the blade in the chip breaker wouldn't sit flat on the frog. So I had to take a file and go in and make this part a little bit narrower. It only took about 30 seconds, it wasn't a big deal. And now the lateral adjuster works just fine. Now the depth adjuster is right here, and it works too. My only complaint is that this part that actually moves the blade has a lot of slop and rattle to it. It feels really cheap, but when I move the knob, the depth adjuster moves. And at this price, I guess that's all you can ask for. What we need to do now is drop the blade and the chip breaker back in here, get the thing set up, and test it. And here is where we ran into some problems. I set this plane up just like I would any smoothing plane. I got the chip breaker against the iron and snuck it right up close to the edge. Then I tightened the whole thing down, dropped it into the plane, and advanced the adjuster. And advanced it, and advanced it, and advanced it some more. And I got it so it was all the way at the end of its adjustment range, and still, there was no iron sticking out of the plane. And this is obviously a problem. I can't get the plane to work if I can't get the cutter to stick out of the mouth. So here's our problem. On most adjustable planes, the adjuster interfaces with the chip breaker, right here. There's a little notch, and the adjuster sticks into that notch and pushes the whole blade assembly forward and back when you turn the adjustment knob. On this plane, the notch, it's just located too far back. So even at its maximum adjustment, you can't get the iron forward enough to come out of the plane's mouth. Now, you can fix this problem, kind of, by pulling the chip breaker back away from the edge of the iron, about 3/16 or maybe even 1/4 of an inch. And when you do that, you can get the iron to stick out enough and the plane will work. The problem is with the chip breaker pulled that far away from the edge, it doesn't do much. It maybe doesn't do anything. So by setting this thing up so that it'll actually work, you're getting rid of half the benefit of having a higher quality plane in the first place. Without a chip breaker, this isn't going to be much better than our cheap 12-404. And it's really frustrating. What's frustrating about it is not that this plane doesn't work, it's that it's so close to working. If they had just located this notch a little further forward, or made the adjustment screw a little bit longer, this plane would function. And then I've got all sorts of tricks for turning a functional plane into a plane that works well. These design flaws, they're too big. This thing is not going to work as a high-quality smoothing plane. So, what am I going to do? Throw it away? Hell no. I spent money on this thing. You can find a use for even a really cheap or almost non-functional plane by converting it into a scrub plane, which is ideal for heavy stock removal. The process is simple. Take a marker and a piece of string and draw an 8-inch radius on the edge of the iron. Then go to your grinder or your belt sander and grind the tip of the iron to match that new radius. Re-establish the bevel, hone it on your whetstones, pull the chip breaker back as far as you like, reassemble the plane, and get ready to take off heavy, thick shavings with it. So I cannot recommend this plane as a smoothing plane. It's got too many shortcomings. But as a scrub plane, this thing is surprisingly decent. And in fact, some of the things that are cheap about the plane are kind of an advantage. The fact that it's heavy really works in our favor, helps us power through wood. This chunk I have in the vise here is red oak. That's a pretty tough wood, and this thing is taking huge, monster bites out of it. It's pretty impressive. I got it converted over to scrub mode in about 10 minutes, and I didn't have to do any of the things I would normally do. I didn't flatten the sole, I didn't fit the chip breaker, I didn't flatten the frog. None of that's necessary when you're making a plane for heavy work. And this plane has a really big, wide mouth. That would usually be a shortcoming in a fine smoothing plane, but it's exactly what you need in a scrub plane. And since it's already big and wide, we don't have to do anything with it. I'm ready to just take this plane pretty much as is and throw it into my Woodwork for Humans tool tote and use it as my dedicated heavy stock removal plane from here on out. So if you need a scrub, this is not a bad choice. Of course, this still leaves me on the hunt for a good, affordable smoothing plane. And I'm going to take that hunt and do it this entire summer. Every month, I'm going to buy 2 or 3 inexpensive Bailey-style planes and review them right here. And at the end of the summer, I'm going to do a big shootout video where I compare all the inexpensive planes I can get my hands on, and I'll release a PDF guide to how to pick and optimize these planes and make them perfect for your shop with the minimum expense. So keep coming back to find out all about the inexpensive tools that I'm looking at. And before I go, I really need to mention that I paid for this tool out of pocket. In fact, I pay for all of my tools out of pocket. There's no sponsorships and no freebies on this channel. If I want to look at a tool, I just suck it up and drop the money for it. And the reason I can do that is because of Patreon. My patrons give me the monthly support that lets me not only put these videos out regularly, but also buy the tools that I think might be good for my viewers and try them out. I take the hit so you don't have to, and my patrons are the ones who make that possible. And of course, they always get exclusive content and early access to my videos. So if you'd like to see some of the rewards I have just for my patrons, go on over to patreon.com/RexKruger and see all the stuff I have for the people who make my content possible. And of course, I always want to remember to thank my viewers, because without you guys, I wouldn't have a reason to make these videos. So thanks so much for watching.